Dude, your voiceover for that is just so much better than I could ever be. I love it so much.
And now the grand reveal.
Oh, yes. Woo. Hey, it's time.
It's time for Terry Trek.
For Carrie Trek.
Woo! Terry
That's
Trek
right,
in the
guys.
house.
The showrunner of Picard Season 3. If you have not seen this segment before, it is all about Terry Matalas, the showrunner for Picard Season 3, and what he's got going on, what we know about Picard Season 3, and what we can tell you that we know about it, if we know anything at all.
Allegedly.
We do believe, and we're wearing these hats for one specific reason. We do believe that once everyone sees Picard Season 3, who's a fan of Berman-era Star Trek, so TNG, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, if you are a fan of those shows, you're going to like this show. Brian, can you show the graphic that you are so proud of on Twitter?
I never said
that was made so that we can show people.
I never said I was proud of this. Don't put words in my mouth.
You're so proud of it. Brought a tear to my eye when he saw this.
It's not accurate.
And I wanted us to understand there needs to be a visual way for us to show you how we think you might feel about Picard Season 3.
Yeah.
I guess you got to get rid of us, huh? Okay, so here's the deal. If you
wait.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Here's the deal, boys.
You can't say here's the deal without Will
Wesley
making an
there.
appearance.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so if you are a fan, if you feel this way about Star Trek, so if you look at these here, you've got, and this is not a perfectly accurate representation of Star Trek, but this is like Brian and I's basic feelings about Star Trek. TOS is 5 stars, TNG is 5 stars, Voyager's 5 stars, Deep Space Nine is 5 stars, Enterprise 4 stars. Okay.
Yeah, hold up.
Go ahead.
Can you reverse DS9 and Enterprise for me, please?
I can't. No, I can't.
No.
And I'll tell you why.
Shane and I pretty much line up, but for me,
yeah,
I'd reverse those two.
I'll tell you why I can't, and that's because you're right. Like, but if we averaged us together, that's basically what it would be.
Right. Also, I feel like you forgot the negative symbol in front of the Star Trek Discovery.
Negative?
Yeah,
yeah.
Negative
so
1
funny.
star.
I was going to do something funny, like make the star hollow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or just no star. It just doesn't have a star.
Right. Like nothing there, which I kind of thought of doing actually. And then putting like one little star on Picard.
Yeah, it has to have one star
like,
though. Like it's 1 through 5 stars, right?
I'm like, I think this will make my point. And our point is Discovery's got 1 star, Picard seasons 1 and 2's got 1 star, and Strange New Worlds 3 stars because it's still got some proving to do.
That's fair. Yeah.
But Picard season 3 has got 5 stars. So everybody here, do the math and align yourself which show you love the best. Then take a look at what we put on Picard season 3, and that will tell you, based on if you line up with us, then how you probably will feel about Picard season 3. Because a lot of people are, and rightly so, they're having a really hard time trusting that Picard season 3 can be good because Picard seasons 1 and 2 were just garbage. So it's like, listen, Shane and Brian, how are we supposed to trust you? I'm like Twitter beefing all day long with these beautiful people who I love, who I know watch our show, who kept saying like, I don't know how you're going to convince me. I'm like, I don't know what to say to you other than like, this is how we feel about it based on this other stuff. And we don't lie to you guys. So
we also we're not trying to convince you to give them a shot. We're saying, this is our rating of something that we allegedly have already seen.
So we keep running into allegedly, of course, possibly, allegedly. Listen.
I can't wait till it comes out. I can just say whatever I want.
If we live that long, honestly, I'm pretty sure we might get killed by CBS.
We might get killed by CBS snipers.
Show up at my house and be like, just shut up. Just stop talking about it. No, but for real. So the reality is it's hard. I mean, all these people are like, how do we know it's going to be good? We don't know. We don't know if you're going to like it, but this is what it is. So we should talk more about it in February.
Right? Yeah. We're going to, okay. So that said, we're planning on doing weekly Prime Video episodic Prime videos on a weekly basis. We're going to put a lot of effort into this because we liked it so much that we're going to be working 72 hours straight every week to produce an episode, a companion episode to every episode.
Yeah, so basically take that for your I don't know, whatever. So I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited. Again, allegedly. Okay. So okay, that's what I got. So Terry Matalas this week was interviewed by Yahoo.
He was
interviewed. And the Weekly Terry, yeah. And it says here, Star Trek Picard Season 3 is a continuation of Voyager and DS9 2, says showrunner. And I think it's important that we discuss this because this is kind of a funny thing for Terry to say, I think. Because it takes place after these shows. So it is really a continuation.
Yeah, it is.
Of these shows. And not to mislead anybody here, but let's just say what he says. Terry says, in my mind, I would have called it Star Trek Legacy. I mean, it is truly a Picard story. He is the focus, but the spirit of it is different than seasons 1 and 2, just because of what it is. You can take that, and everybody who's keeps saying that Picard seasons 1 and 2 is terrible, so therefore season 3 will be terrible as well, must be terrible. There is no choice. It will be terrible. It's a freaking shit show just waiting to happen. And my God, just bomb it and kill it. Right. I'm getting these tweets from people. Okay.
We're getting hate mail. We didn't even make the show.
Right. And here's the thing is he says it here. It's different than seasons 1 and 2. Okay. It's different. All right.
Yeah. Wildly different.
He also makes it clear that there's more going on than just bringing back the TNG crew. He says, I think that it's important to Deep Space Nine fans to feel seen. It's a continuation of Voyager 2. Of course, with 7 of 9 in our show, if you're going to be in this time period, there's such a rich opportunity to honor what came before. Hold on. Honor what came before.
Right.
Now, as Star Trek fans, what have we been complaining about this whole new Trek time? Right. They don't honor what came before.
Right.
And so he's saying it here, these showrunners saying, we're going to honor what came before.
Yeah.
So, and we can neither confirm nor deny that is true.
Allegedly.
All right. But I think it almost has to be a continuation. Well, I guess let's continue to see what he says here. I just feel like Picard season 3 needed to feel like it fit in this universe. So that's Terry saying that he didn't think that Picard seasons 1 and 2 fit in the universe.
Right.
Hey, word of mouth. He feels like Picard season 3 needed to feel like it fit into this universe.
Right.
It was very important to me, first and foremost, that it treads new ground, but also feel like a continuation of the story arcs set up 30 years ago. There's a fine line between fan service and just honoring the universe that you're in. So I just went full tilt on all the things that mattered to me.
Right. And he's a fan.
A fan of Star Trek from Voyager and Enterprise.
Right.
TNG fan, Deep Space Nine fan, making Star Trek today. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah. It doesn't so this is actually pretty unique. Since Enterprise, we haven't had a showrunner that was actually a Star Trek fan that we knew of. Definitely not someone who had previously worked on Star Trek. And so what are we getting now? We're getting someone who not only cut his teeth working on Star Trek, he's a massive Star Trek fan, and he gets to do the things that matter to him. So I just, and I quote, so I just went full tilt at the things that mattered to me. The things that mattered to him are more than likely the same thing that matter to us as Trekkies, which is why when you watch the trailer, you see Moriarty and you see Before Data Lore, whatever, and you see these characters that we've wanted to see again, and you see connections. And in season 3, we're going to see a lot more connections, and those connections are going to be meaningful. They're not just member berries. They're going to have substance to them that's going to actually tie up questions that you've probably been asking for 30 years.
Yeah, I think, because, and I understand. There's people going, wasn't All Good Things a good enough ending for you? And I'm like, well, we did get to see a future potential alternate reality of what could have been the future of these characters, but it was an alternate reality that wasn't necessarily what happened. Now we're actually getting to see what happened. It's like, this is what actually occurred, and, when you're watching the show, I would argue that there are things that are different. So you got to understand that Terry says here, this is, I think this is a good point. He said, it was very important to me, first and foremost, that it treads new ground. So there will be, if you think that Picard season 3 is going to be campy 80s Star Trek, it's not. It's not campy 80s Star Trek.
Yeah, thankfully.
Okay. Which I love. Well, don't get me wrong, I love campy 80s Star Trek, but this is characters who've had 30 years to develop and have had personal things, and we're getting in-depth characterizations that we haven't necessarily experienced before, but are logical continuations of the characters we loved 30 years ago.
Right.
Logical conclusions.
Right.
Including Worf's character. I know a lot of people are worried about the pacifist thing. While we won't say anything, we will say, don't worry about it.
Yeah, we made a whole video about it. You should go check it out because nobody else is watching it.
That's probably why they're like, I don't want to see more.
You know what's funny is I remember was it season 1 of Picard when they found that tool that just like magically fixed the ship?
Plot devices, yes.
That was like it was like the definition of a device that literally
moved the story
forward.
Yeah.
And no one explained. It
was just there.
It was like a parody. It was like a parody of this is what Star Trek does. That's not the way season 3 is going to be. I doubt when you watch season 3, I doubt you're even going to see a connection between 1 and 2. Well, JP's right. It's hard to be a pacifist with a giant sword on your back. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's okay. Look, I hate to say it, but seasons 1 and 2 happened. Like, we can't change the past. A lot of people that are complaining are like, well, seasons 1 and 2 already ruined it, so nothing can fix season 3 because seasons 1 and 2 ruin it, right? Well, what we can say is that everything that happens in season 3 kind of just massages it all over, makes it unnoticeable, in my opinion.
Right.
There's like this. So there's a recognition of the past, but it's all about the future.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. And that's a great segue to that. Couple tweets to us. Are seasons 1 and 2 still canon? If yes, then season 3 is effed. Period. Not accurate. Just because seasons 1 and 2 are canon doesn't mean that they have anything to do with season 3, because they don't. They don't. Picard is still dead. Are you talking about the character or the show? Because if you're talking about the character,
you're talking about the character.
No, if you're talking about the character, then I guess.
I mean, look, it happened, guys. I mean, listen, it happened. You can't go and fix it all. It's not like that. It happened. You're right. There are dumb things that occurred that are now canon. So we can either wallow in that or we can move forward. Now I'm going to answer Doomed Huz's question. Can Doomcock be... What was the question? We've gone so many for now. Can Doomcock be turned over? Was that what it was? Something like that. What? Can we convince Doomcock to watch Picard season 3?
No.
Will he come back to Trek? The answer is no. You're right. because there is going to be a percentage of the people that no matter what kind of Trek is put out, as long as Alex Kurtzman is in charge of Star Trek, will hate it for the simple case of not wanting Star Trek to be good as long as that person's in charge. So there's a segment of the people watching who that's all they care about. All they care about is they were going to refuse to like anything until Kurtzman's gone. Well, Kurtzman's not going anywhere anytime soon. And that's more of an agenda. Like, that's not like, we're just a couple of guys who want to watch good Star Trek.
Right.
Like, we don't care.
Right. Kurtzman is the CEO of Star Trek. I get it. That's it.
Yeah. We don't care who's in charge. We don't care who's making it. Just make it good.
Yeah. I mean, well, and the reason I care who's making it is because I believe there's a direct correlation between good and bad when it comes to what showrunner's in charge of it. Speaking of which, when they said Matalas co-wrote season 2, that's all you need to know. That's not accurate.
Well, yeah. So he is part of the team that made season 2, but like we've said here, the show already had its idea. You know, he didn't create season 2 storyline. You know, he was a part of the team, and then he quickly moved to season 3. So he really didn't have any input or direction or change on season 2 at all. Yeah. You can't. His name's on it because that was the deal. But he didn't really do it. It was Akiva Goldsman's gig, you know?
Right.
So, you know, he was busy
Shadow Man.
Season 3.
He said, that is gaslighting. Terry Matalas gave it season 2. Having 7 and 9 Raffi with the TNG actors doesn't make any sense because you haven't seen the show. So you don't know how it's going to make sense. Worf on the ship.
Response is right below it, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so Worf on the ship makes no sense. You haven't seen the show, so how can you know? Again, you haven't seen it, so you have no idea how it would make sense or how they're going to connect. And that's
so I get how you might not see it, and I get why you're frustrated. And some of these people are frustrated also because Terry blocked them on Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
And they're kind of like, well, how can we like him if he's going to block us on Twitter? And it's like tough because you want to tell him, well, listen, you don't want to be like accused of ruining Star Trek. And a lot of the people who are talking to Terry are like, trying to get him to prove that he made a good season 3. And it's like, he can't prove it to you until you see it. Like, he's not going to sit here and argue with you about it. You know what I mean? And instead he's just like, I just don't need this negativity. So he's blocking people.
Guys, yeah. To be clear, you are maybe he blocked you, right? You are one person that maybe even asked a reasonable question. However, this dude is being piled on by hundreds of people. It is crazy.
Well, he's the only guy out there, and this is the shame of it. We've talked about this before. The shame of it is that he's the only Star Trek person talking to fans, really. Right. And so the fans have nowhere else to like put their energy. So the negative and positive go there, but he's like, I don't want to deal with negative energy, and so that's probably a lot what it is, and he's probably got a short fuse on it because he's already taken a lot of, so if you've been blocked by Terry Matalas, come here and we will tell you what's going on. And hopefully at some point when things become more positive,
you can unblock
then he'll unblock people. But I don't know.
By the way, we totally agree. Making Picard a robot was stupid. It was very, very stupid. We didn't like it. It didn't work. It was bad. It was a bad idea. And it put showrunners that had to take over after the fact in a really bad position where they had to actually acknowledge that stupid decision in a way that probably made it hard for them to tell a real story. So, yeah, it was dumb. Again, season 1 and 2 of Picard were not good seasons. Season 1 was even worse than season 2. So,
yep.
All right.
Yeah. But anyways, so I think, did we cover everything? I think we did, right?
Allegedly.
We allegedly covered everything.
Right.
Nice. Well,
scapegoating is good for negativity business. That is accurate.
Yeah. And moving forward, and when you actually do get to see it and you believe in it, just remember, it'll be #Terry Trek, because we're going to have to convince Kurtzman and the powers at Paramount and CBS that Terry Matalas needs to make more Star Trek going forward, because that's what the legacy fans like. If that's what you end up liking, allegedly.
And we thoroughly believe that you will like it, allegedly.
Yeah. If you like what we like, allegedly.
At this point, we might be using the word allegedly wrong. Allegedly.
Well said.
Hit the comments section on the way there. Please hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you guys think about all this and everything we talked about.